Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach, and again we're doing another ECOMI VeVe OMI video. This time around we're doing another collaboration with Cavell going over some Grand Theft Auto metaverse style stuff that we can of course draw some parallels with VeVe. We're going to be talking about some other stuff going on in the industry very soon, but this time around, this video specifically, I think is going to bring a lot of what we're talking about with you to real life. Take a listen.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VeVe and ECOMI video. And in this one, we're back with our series with our special guest here, Zach.
Hey, what's good? How y'all doing? Appreciate you having me on again.
Yo, appreciate you being here, man. So we're going to go over this series again. We're going to be talking about the $10 OMI token and basically giving you all more of a vision about how this could be possible and what are some of the things that we can expect. Keep in mind, when we talk about a $10 OMI and $10 price prediction, my prediction is for 10 years out. 10 years out. Now, things are looking a lot more bullish lately, but my prediction still stands for 10 years out. And when it comes down to the space, we're not going to get into the mathematics and details and stuff like that, but a lot of people believe that we can't see a $2 trillion market cap for this project. I believe that in a few years time, we're going to see a bunch of $1 trillion market caps, including Bitcoin and Ethereum being way much higher than they actually are right now. So that being said, we're going to be explaining one catalyst. This is not everything that has to do with a $10 OMI, but throughout this series, we're going to be covering a ton of different topics so you all can really understand how we get to this point and what we see. So this is simply going to be focused on what has been confirmed in the VeVeverse. And if something is not confirmed, we will let you all know that, but this is confirmations in the VeVeverse. So yeah, I mean, let's jump into it. We're starting off in Zach's apartment here.
Yeah, so something that, because I was reading some of the comments on the video that we posted yesterday, and I want to kind of quickly go over the $10 thing, people being like not sure about it, and I totally understand that. Sorry, you can't stop this calls in GTA. Literally no setting to stop it. So with that, I think it's important to note that, and I mentioned this on your live stream yesterday or the day, whenever it was, and people were pretty upset about it, but I'm gonna say it again. Cavell and I don't need, like, we have multiple businesses, right? We've run multiple businesses. We have, let's be real, we're financially stable, right? Like, that's the main thing of it. Now, I said on your stream that I don't care if OMI goes up or down. And that was because of us being financially stable. It's important for us to remember that when we're talking about $10 OMI, we're talking about our genuine beliefs. Now, why that's important is if we didn't have our own businesses outside of this, we would kind of be relying on OMI to do well. And that would mean that we would be trying to basically pump the coin. But I'm saying very clearly now, I myself have a channel that, well, Vel knows. I have a few projects that have made me a lot of money, and Vel's in the same boat there. So I was going to say, from a $10 OMI thing, if you don't understand it, that's totally fine. That's literally fine, because I don't expect everyone to understand what we understand, because everyone has different experiences in life, coming from different walks of life. But in this series, hopefully you will start to see more of what we're talking about and seeing and understanding. That is why we're making these videos, honestly, is to actually explain what's going on here, rather than just saying, well, gaming looks interesting, now we're actually showing it to you. So there's no reason to not listen, essentially. Having said that, welcome to my GTA apartment, everyone. We are here. So this, of course, is what we have talked about being a very similar tech simulation of the VeVeverse, right? This is very far off, like we have said many times before. This is not happening next year or the year after. Hopefully in the next decade or so, we'll see something. Now, last time in the video, we went over this apartment right here, when we looked at all the sort of real estate within this apartment that we can use for VeVe NFTs. So we have posters around here. And then when we go upstairs, we can see, of course, that we have the living space right here that essentially you can socialize, hang out with, and have your own furniture, have collectibles on the shelves, etc. We saw the TV over there. We looked at it being able to watch Disney Plus and other IPs that we have access through partnerships with ECOMI, and the rest of it right here with the kitchen, etc. But this time around, we're going to move outside of the apartment, because we didn't do a lot of that last time. And we're going to have a look at some shops.
And keep in mind, like, when we're walking around showing you all the stuff that can be, keep in mind, again, we're not talking about quality wise. Now, we can make the debate and argument that Trevor, who worked at League of Legends, Runeterra, and the guy who worked for freaking God of War and he's working with people like the companies that they're outsourcing to. They've worked at like they worked on games like Spider-Man Miles Morales. They worked on Call of Duty, Titanfall. This is the companies that they're working with and they're outsourcing to. So the argument can be made that they could make something on the level of GTA, but imagine this, even if this was Roblox graphics or Minecraft graphics, the point still stands because all of these things still exist. You still have streets, you still have concrete, you still have freaking land. That's all that is. You have land. No matter if it's pretty land or ugly land, you have land. You can buy land. The clothes, if they're really good clothes or really terrible clothes, you can still buy clothes. So no matter the quality, you're buying this stuff, and you're buying this stuff simply because you're buying the NFTs. So people are investing in these NFTs, these posters for walls and stuff like that, and they're buying this stuff because they want the NFTs. Now, all this stuff can be brought to your home and decorated. You can decorate your home with this stuff. So this is all stuff that people are going to buy anyway, like the Da Vinci posters. If they release a Da Vinci bag or a Louis Vuitton bag, do you think that people are going to not buy it? No, people are going to buy it. It's the very first Da Vinci purse NFT, so it's going to be bought. So yeah, this is the point that we're talking about. Like, all we're talking about is VeVe's assets that people are buying already, having these within a metaverse so more people can acquire them and put them somewhere and store them somewhere. So yeah, that's what we mean when we talk about some of this stuff. It's not necessarily the quality or it's going to be at GTA level when it first comes out. It's all the assets that VeVe and ECOMI have. It's similar to what GTA, Minecraft, and everything else has. It's the metaverse is a metaverse. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think we'll have a lot more content because everything you just said there absolutely rings true. I think also we can, and I can speak with you about this off video afterwards, but we can think about how we can better illustrate what all that actually means from a God of War, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, because I think all those names are very important to gamers specifically, but when it comes down to, of course, people who don't get into gaming, even they won't know what God of War even is. Like, that just sounds like goofy video games, right? So I think eventually we can go through everything that means there through, I would say, more of a pre-ready presentation of what's going on there. Having said that, prior to recording this, we spoke about how and what we're going to show off, because in GTA there is a lot that we can go through. You just saw me crashing into a couple cars here and there, but in general, we got from my apartment over to a shop. Now, this map is huge, and basically what that means is that we could roam around a very large area of space digitally in this universe. Having said that, there's a lot to go over, and so we're going to start off with baby steps. We started off the first episode simply looking at, of course, the third place environment, i.e. being our home, being the place where we can watch TV, see our apartment, and all that sort of stuff. This time around, we're going to have a look at some clothing shops. Now, I was explaining to Val that prior to this, we have two types of clothing shops. We have a low-end and a high-end clothing shop. So we're about to jump into the high-end clothing shop, which in this case, I would go with Gucci, etc., etc., right? Let's again start tying these parallels to real life. So this in this game is called Ponce and Bees, but again, it would be Gucci, Supreme, etc. So we can walk in.
And first off, now, even before, like, let's talk about the fact that this is on land. Right here, again, I want to hit it home for you all. This is land. So let's say in the VeVeverse, a whale buys a piece of land right here. They buy this land. Now they need something to build on it. They decide to build a high-end store because during the Gucci NFT drops, they acquired a bunch of that because their goal and purpose is to build a store out of it. Then they get this location, they name it what they name it, and now all of this merchandise, this is imagine every single thing you see in that store right now is an NFT that somebody paid for. So we can even say, like, let's just say it's not even a clothes store. Let's say we got a Spider-Man NFT there. Let's say we got some posters there, some Bond posters. Like, just think in the aspect of someone simply bought land on the VeVeverse to sell their assets, and this is their assets that they're going to have in here listed for whatever price that they think that they can get for these assets. This is what we mean when we talk about this. And the biggest reason that we want you all to understand this stuff is because we may not know everything, we may not think of everything, but we want to have realistic conversations because all of this stuff is confirmed from the team already. So if you see some flaws as to why this, like, let's say selling purses in the VeVeverse would not generate enough money to get us to a $10 OMI. Like when we start hearing arguments like that, okay, that's a valid argument. That could be a valid argument. Let's look into that and see how many purses would need to be sold or something. But people are just dismissing the fact that generating sales within a metaverse has the potential to get us to $10. So yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to think about is people are oftentimes saying that this isn't what the VeVe, that GTA is so much bigger than what the VeVe is going to be. Obviously, we're talking about a scale and time ratio here, so over time. But also, I think one thing that can help a lot when it comes down to, and Cavell's done a lot of this on his channel, myself as well, we've spoken about things that we see coming up and then they happen, right? Disney is a perfect example of this, right? After we saw the Marvel stuff, of course, we spoke about Simpsons, etc. Now, the reason we're able to see what's happening is simply and only because we see what companies in big tech land are doing to make profitability, to make the most revenue possible. That is every company's goal in general, is the most revenue possible. So if we're able to learn from the tech giants what's already happened, we can then look at what's going to happen in the future. And that is what we're seeing essentially here, and why we're saying that this is what we can see. Now, ECOMI might not follow through, and that's always a risk as an early investor. But this is what can happen. Let's talk about what can happen, not about what hasn't happened yet. Having said that, going forward, we're going to go into Ponce and Bees. And so here, let me quickly turn the music off because neither of us want copyright claims out here.
Yeah, we definitely need that off ASAP.
There we go.
I mean, the first thing that I noticed when he walked into the store, it's simply a rug that costs money. That's an asset. Now, it costs money to buy that rug. Like, look at how they set up the store. Like, look at the mannequins. That mannequin costs money. Look at the little stand that they're advertising their clothes on. All these stands around here cost money. The register and all that cost money. The person that they have standing there, if that's an NPC, you may be able to buy NPCs to stand in front of your store. Like, that's going to cost money. And people were saying, why would somebody pay to do all this when you could potentially do all this for free in another game? This is someone using the VeVeverse, collecting real assets that hold value, and they're buying land for the sole purpose of being able to generate money with that land. Why do you think people are taking the time to buy land in all these metaverses? It's valuable. People will spend money on this because they're NFTs, and that's the difference between gaming. So I feel like when we switch over to the gaming aspect, people just start thinking like gamers sometimes, and not considering the fact that this is still an investor's community. We are in this community to make money. So this stuff, I see so much stuff here. Everything that you see here, it has to be purchased to even be put here. And the goal is to have somebody come in and buy some of this stuff. And as far as who's going to do that and why they would want to do that, that's the job of the business owner. Any store you have ever seen outside of your house, they have to market. They have to figure out how to get foot traffic in that door. It's not like somebody's just going to make some random store. Like if I opened a random store today and just only sold Q-tips, I mean, would I get custom? It's just my job to figure out that that's a dumb strategy. Like, what do you mean? Like that?
Unless they're the best Q-tips in the world and do something that no other Q-tip does, I guess. But yeah, and you're talking about marketing, right? Like we saw before in the last video in fairness, because it's not here right now. But you can think about all, of course, like the signs and the marketing that you could see all around. And of course, that would be Ponce and Bee's job, is to market their products. So you would see them on billboards, you would see it on the back of buses, etc., etc. And of course, that itself would circulate. As well as looking at that, we can also, obviously, you said about the NPC. Who knows? Maybe this, and this is far away. Let me be very clear. Or this is far away. But who knows? Maybe this will actually be someone's job in the future.
Yeah, potentially.
Like, genuinely, it could be. Like, because we all know as well that NPCs are good and everything, but to get the real, it could be that someone even gets a very highly paid job. And again, that's just me thinking out loud now. As a consultant, going through looking at, say for example, and we already know this because it's happened, say for example Coca-Cola, they've already put out their NFTs in Decentraland. We've seen that happen already. I'm not sure if you saw the event that they did, but they had a concert in Decentraland already.
Yeah.
Now realistically, the NPC here could be advising whoever comes in, okay, this is what you can speak with them about what a good investment might be. Obviously, what clothes there are. You're always going to have a better experience speaking with a person versus with an NPC. So it could be that down the line, that will be someone who is a professional at what they do and making a living out of it. And this is what we're talking about with creating an economy, jobs, etc. within the VeVeverse. So if we go across to different clothes and stuff, we can see Unfortunately, I have a message thing in the top left which stops me from viewing them. But essentially, you can select different clothes. You can have a look through them. You can even sort of put them on. Right now, unfortunately, my game is telling me to go to something and do something. But once that eventually goes, then we can actually sort of view the items, etc. So now we can browse the accessories, and you can see already that I'm able to put on certain clothes, right? So I can put an earring on myself for like, different amounts. So this is $17,500. This one is 3,960. Let's go over to some t-shirts because that'll be a bit easier to see, I think, or pants, I guess. So we can go for all these different sort of pants, etc. And everything here, of course, will cost OMI.
Yep.
And you got all these shorts, etc. And of course, this will be the good thing here is that in GTA, everything is within GTA, whereas in the VeVeVerse, this should all be actual branded, like real life branded stuff. You'll be seeing Gucci, be seeing Nike most likely. I'm sure you've seen their most recent news that Nike's been doing with NFTs lately.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of brands are getting into this. This is not something that's going to happen. It's actually already happening. It's just that later on down the line, this will likely integrate, and of course, this will also be interoperable most likely. So whatever you buy here, you can probably wear it in Decentraland. You could also probably wear it in whatever Facebook's metaverse is going to be.
Exactly. So, and if everything is all interoperable, you could potentially bring things from different metaverses and put them into stores in the VeVeVerse. We don't know exactly how it's all going to work, but if everything truly is interoperable and they have these connections and it's linked in a way where you can, from the VeVeVerse, buy something, like if I bring in some Nike shoes from whichever platform is holding these Nike NFT shoes, and like you buy them through the VeVeVerse, you could be able to potentially pay from the VeVeVerse, and the money just go, the crypto just goes to where it's supposed to go to. So we don't, like, obviously that gets into more of speculative territory, but the fact is the goal is to be interoperable. These are all goals of the
Sorry,
VeVeVerse.
before you continue, something really important that I'm not sure if the screen will be able to see. It just says you paid the mechanic $50 for the day. You paid your $75 property utility charge. These are the things we're talking about. These are the things that someone else will essentially pocket that OMI, right? And that is how an economy works at the end of the day. Sorry,
Exactly.
continue. I just wanted to point that out.
That's exactly how an economy works. And what people aren't realizing is how closely metaverses are meant to mirror the real world. You've seen things like Fortnite, which is like super unrealistic, Call of Duty, like you see all these games and you get it confused with what a metaverse really is. A lot of people don't understand that a metaverse is not just a game. Like what
No,
Facebook is
it's
doing,
not.
they're not just trying to play a game. You have to understand what VeVe means when they say that they're going to create a metaverse to begin with. Ready Player One was not just a game. Like obviously there was gaming aspects, races and stuff like that, and there was a cartoonist type of thing, but that was a way of life for people.
Well, that's sports in real life, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Every whether it's whether it's classed as a video game or not, everything that we're talking about there is a recreational activity that humans are spending their time on, and that is where their attention is. They pay money for it, whether it's with sports, it's a case of buying tennis rackets, buying the best trainers or sneakers in the US. Like all these different things is what I'm actually trying to find right now. I fortunately I haven't been playing GTA as much lately, and we might have to cut something out eventually. But I'm trying to find, because what you have in GTA, as I said before, is you have high end and you have low end market clothes stores. So right now I'm trying to find the high end clothes stores, because that also shows again the difference that you have when it comes, or not even the difference, the dynamic range of brands that we will have in the VeVeVerse, hopefully, where it won't just be a case of having that Ponsonby store. You'll also have, actually, I just realized. Hold up. I just realized that we actually already went to the high-end clothing store. So now I'm going to take you to the low-end clothing store, and you can see the difference. And this matters because these are different brands that we should again see in the metaverse. So here we
exactly.
go, right
And
here.
then it comes down to somebody's strategy as well. This is where strategy comes in. Whatever you're collecting as an investor, whatever type of store you want, do you want a store for only rich people, or do you want a store for everyone? Something that's more cost friendly. Like, do you want
Can you
something
see
that
the
anyone
motto
can
on
get?
this storefront?
Huh?
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you see the phrase on the storefront?
Binko? More
Yeah,
trash for less cash?
exactly. But what you were just saying there, you're gonna have some stores that are gonna be for higher end, and you're gonna have some stores for lower end, and it's catering to different markets based on what they want.
Exactly. And these are your NFTs. Like if your strategy is to collect only commons, this would be your store. If a whale strategy is to collect only secret rares, the other store would have been his store. So this is in
Exactly.
VeVe's terms right here. This is what they're planning to do. They have confirmed this. Once again, they've confirmed that this is the goal.
Now, the other thing is I had to turn off the music obviously about 5, 7 minutes ago. Now, I had to turn that off for copyright reasons, obviously. But the fact is that eventually, most likely as well, the store owners will also have to license whichever music they're going to use. Obviously, again, that goes into speculative territory. We're not sure how the systems will work for that. It could be different to in real life. We don't know. But it could, again, it's a possibility that we see artists getting involved, selling their rights to their music in a metaverse. That I think gets quite complicated. So they're going to have to iron those systems out for sure. I definitely don't know how that's going to go, but
Yeah.
again, it's all possibilities and all things that will again just contribute to the economy.
And VeVe has definitely confirmed that we have music coming. So if somebody is buying these NFTs, that means that they own that. That's ownership. So they'll be able to use that throughout the VeVeverse. I don't know if maybe the artist gets a kickback from that, or they just get the initial payment. Like I don't know if every time the song runs or you sell something in the store, maybe the artist get a fee, maybe VeVe takes a fee, and then you get what's left over. And if that's the case, then you just simply factor that into your pricing when you're pricing this stuff. So this is, and then it's going to be just like kind of like the market right now, but so much better because then let's say somebody wants to your store is very popular, you're getting so many sales. Then let's say somebody wants to compete with you and open up a store right across the street, and then they have some of the same items as you, but they just cut their prices in half. So now
Literally.
it makes it like this is going to be like real life because that's what happened. Have you ever looked in real life and saw a bunch of gas stations right around each other? One of those gas stations started there first, and other ones came in like, okay, well, they're
Yeah,
not going to be the only one. Like this is just what happens in business, and this is what keeps things competitive. It's good to have competition because the customer, you get the better price. So if this
exactly.
is the only store close by, he's charging $500 for everything. A store opens up across the street and everything is under $100. This place wouldn't get any customers, so they either have to pack up and leave or lower their prices.
Exactly. And also going back to what David you was talking about from a gift shop perspective. So can we just say, what if this was the gift shop? You see what I mean? Like design wise, this is where you could buy your collectibles. So you're no longer going through the UI that you're going through now, which, some would say maybe is questionable. Instead, you're going into, and this is what I really want, is to be able to actually walk into a gift shop, as David you has said, because again, I think this will actually be one of the more important, like your other videos are incredibly important, obviously, but this will definitely visualize to the audience that you've been telling about a gift shop what that could actually look like. We're not talking about some metaphorical gift shop. We're talking about an actual digital gift shop that people can walk around in and sort of talk and listen to music in and do whatever they're doing, speak with the NPC or the person at the counter, and then they can leave and then they can go and live their life and do whatever else they want to do. And that is part of a very large, honestly, economy once you have all the users on. And this is why we're talking about having many, many, many millions of users on here. It's because it's not just about, weirdly enough, it's not just about a collectibles app. Even though the collectibles app has done so well considering
Exactly.
considering it's blockchain based as well, like in general, like most people run away as soon as they hear blockchain. They've managed to actually get so many people on board because they've been smart about it. They haven't been calling everything NFTs. They haven't been trying to push blockchain onto everyone. Instead, it's a product that anyone can get into.
And honestly, I think that the metaverse would be a lot better for people because think about this. He was just making the point that that could be where drops happen at. Think about this. What if you go in there for a drop and you have to line up? You have to physically take your
Yeah,
avatar, stand in line, and you just stand in line and you keep going in until the supply is out. And if you want to get a second one, you would have to buy your first one, go back out and stand in line and hope that you get there before the supply is gone. Like
yep,
that could literally be a new drop system within the VeVeverse where now it's a lot more fair because people could camp out overnight if they really that motivated. It's like I feel like it'll get to the point where people are there days in advance for certain drops. And
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
yeah, it'll be ridiculous, but that's how it is in real life. That's what collecting is. That's exactly how this stuff works. People who are motivated to get certain things, they do what it takes to get it. And this is what the metaverse will actually provide. They'll provide an easier way and a more fair way to do some of the things that's going on right now with just clicks of a button and just a simple app. But
okay, so now I've because obviously, how long have we been recording now, roughly?
About 20-25 minutes.
Awesome. So obviously that's an ideal time to soon enough wrap up, I guess. What I wanted to go here to was just to sort of show, because we've shown off my apartment already. That was the first episode. Now we've obviously shown off the shops, the gift shops, etc. That could be a possibility. But now I want to set us up for the next video that we may be doing in the series, so that you're aware of where we're going with this series later on. So I've just parked up by a high street, essentially, which is a place, of course, where you have all of these different shops. Again, all of this is real estate. All of it is real estate.
Yep.
All of these shops. And this is, you've seen me just driving around a little bit. This is one tiny corner of the entire map. So
that's
eventually we can look at...
comic book store, by the way. Comic book store.
Oh yeah, true. Flicker's Comics. That's true, actually. Yeah, that's huge. Yep. That's absolutely huge. Now, unfortunately, in GTA, because of how early this was made, essentially back in like 2013, I think it was released, almost none of these are actually available. But in the VeVeverse, the hope is that all of this will be land that can be utilized. Here we do actually have one place that we can go into. It's a barber shop. So even these small details of being able to cut your hair is being done in GTA. Think about what's going to be possible in the VeVeverse, so long as, of course, as they have the resources, which again is speculative, but we're talking about what can be. So yeah, that's what we can talk about in the next video of the series, just looking at the land, the real estate. We have some other things. I want to have a look at the casino. I'm going to show you that later on, Val, because I don't think you've seen the casino yet. So I think you're going to see a lot of opportunity in that. Trust me.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I mean, you all have a lot to look forward to with this series. We're going to be learning about so much stuff, and you're going to be seeing a lot of the potential that's coming to VeVe. But we are going to end the video here. Stay tuned for the rest of the series, because we're going to jump into a lot of stuff there. Also, be sure to check out Zach's channel. He does a lot of content like this, and he dives into a bunch of other VeVe and ECOMI things as well. And as you can see, we have a different perspective from the community. So, I mean, that being said, as always, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on notifications, and yeah, we'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.